BBC fears is what it can't control. We can now stream, we can do everything we want with our music, get it anywhere, anytime. You know, instead of the BBC controlling us, going that you need to be at home or in your car at 7 o'clock to listen to this, you know, the listen again platforms are great, because if no one's listening to this podcast now, wants to listen to it, they can hear it as many times as they like, you know, on playback.
So does that make radio redundant? No,
I don't think it makes radio redundant.
Hold on, here's the thing. When we were growing up, right, we would go to record shops and spend 7 hours in a record shop going through a load of crap to find one record. Now, you can find that one record by clicking a button, right? So it's taken the passion and the love out of what we do. If anyone can be a DJ, why do you need DJs?
Well, I think it's displaced it. You know, my attitude to that technology is completely different. If you take that logic further, you can press a button and find the millions of records that you've never heard before and educate yourself. I certainly do that. You know, you can sit on YouTube and randomly, if you don't know, or if someone gives you a title, you can go and listen to that and hear it. Like you, I spent years in dusty basements, you know. I did like that, but the culture's changed. You know, no kid of 18 is going to sit around going, he doesn't even want to go through his computer games for 5 hours.
I used to have a chap come round in a van who's sitting over there and just give me Alice Clark records for 5 hours. I mean, come on. So, okay, we're going to throw the microphone open. This is Eddie Pillar talking to Norman Jay. I have lost my voice. Blame Rick Buckler from the Jam for yesterday's blame 14 pints of Guinness yesterday. However, we're going to throw the mic open. So, has anybody got anything you want to ask? Norman? No, use the microphone, Julian. He won't hear you otherwise.
It's not working, Paul.
1, 2. Yeah, I welcome any questions. Don't be shy or bashful.
Hello.
Look, try it.
Sarah, it is working.
See it to the back row.
Bloody hell.
Use Eddie's mic.
Take my mother-in-law. No, take her. No. Sorry, that was a Northern joke. Freddie Northern is in there. Right, okay. Edit that bit out, please, Jazzy Dawson. Julian, over to you.
Hi Norman, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Firstly, I'd like to ask you, because it's been reported that you were one of the first people to come up north during football and were exposed to the northern soul scene. And I'd just like your take. What did you think, A, of that unique experience, first walking through places like Wigan or whatever it may be? And what did you think to white working class kids, miners, steel workers dancing to black soul music? What was your take on it?
I absolutely loved it. I've been following the northern scene since its inception in the early 70s, even though it was going before that. I knew of the Wheel in Manchester. We used to read about it in Blues and Soul. And it was about 4, maybe 5 years later when I got my first car in 1977, Mini Cooper. I had wheel travel. And I felt familiar with the scene because I've been reading about it for 4 years. So in 1977, I get to go up there for the first time. Persuaded a couple of my mates to come. We had 2 perceptions of the north of England, I say outside of London. Go there on an afternoon for the footy, completely different.
Yeah.
Not so much racism from that I experienced personally, but the racism was there. Because what I used to understand, they hated you more because you're a rival team rather than the colour of your skin. That's one misconception I like to put right. And then at the night time, because I'd read about the clubs, I'd always had no problem with it. You know, going into clubs in London in the 70s was a scary experience, especially if you were black. Going north, completely different. I remember when I pulled up outside Wigan in my car, 2 white mates, 1 mixed race, and another black guy, 5 of us got out. We were nervous to get in the queue because we saw no black people in the queue, thinking, goodness, if we go and they find out we're Cockneys, we're dead. That was our first thought. And then we watched all the coaches pull up, people getting off it, getting off the coaches, people laughing and joking, and people coming up again, hiya, all right, mate. I'm like, what? 'Cause we now know that Northerners are much more friendly than us Cockneys. They welcomed us with open arms.
You want to go to Liverpool?
Well, I got stories of Liverpool. But we went in there, we queued to go in, even let us push in the queue and get in. We got in there, and I have to say, my mates hated it. They,
Why?
they're Cockneys.
Why?
No, they're,
Jazz funk boys.
they were jazz funk boys, they're football boys, No girls, because the girls weren't interested in talking to them. The girls just wanted to dance all night. And I was quite naive because I didn't realise that a lot of the people in there were on gear, on pills. That's the first time I'd experienced, the pill thing properly, because us guys, we were smokers. Weed slowed you down, made you relax. Yeah, cool, man. And that's like 100 miles an hour, and the faster the record's got, the more people joined in. And I was like, whoa! And my mates couldn't get with that.
True.
What did you think? What did you think to the dancing?
Clumsy.
Yeah, well done, Norman.
But
Thank you.
I have to say, in all honesty, I loved it because I went back 2 or 3 times on my own.
Yeah.
And loved it. And then it encouraged me to go to other places. Because 1977, I remember it well because my first son was born then. Got a car, I go to Wigan, and I knew that there was 2 different sides of the northern scene.
Yeah.
Wigan was retro, looking back. I remember standing in Mr. M's, not knowing a record. Going to Blackpool Mecca, the kids looked like me. I see Ferrucci jeans, I see modern music.
Yeah.
The newest stuff coming out of New York and San Francisco.
Yeah. Which is the direction Ian Levine wanted to take.
Right,
Yeah.
and I really got with that.
And Colin.
I loved it.
Curtis, to be honest.
Colin, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you, Julian. Does anyone else? That young lady at the back. No, you're a man, I'm joking. Sarah, can you direct the mic?
Very good afternoon, each everyone. And first of all, I must say congratulations for that award. I think it's well deserved for years and years of graft, sweat, blood. You name it, you went through it. Ain't no mountain high enough, you climbed it.
Well said.
Well, what I want to say is, for over 30 years, myself, my guys, my London crew, we've done nothing but follow. If you walked across this water now, we'll try to follow you as well. That's how much we were into you. You inspired so much of us, my friends, i.e. Maxi Jazz, Faithless. We used to be clubbing together before he was famous, before we couldn't get any sleep. And we used to listen to you on the radio and we were like, where is he playing here? And like you said, I relate to that going to, I call it out to everybody's places because we had to try and adapt to speak the way they spoke so that we blended in sort of thing, And just to say, you know what I mean, you've done so much, not just for us as black people, but as you can see, global, worldwide. And my question to you would be as well, being from Caribbean descendants myself as well, I know my parents would be, son, you want to be a DJ for you want to be a doctor or a liar or something like that. So my question is, how were they to you and how did you manage to turn them? Because I heard you say earlier on, they are so happy now with what you achieved. Your turn.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
I guess my parents were unique. They were what I'd call liberal. Most of the black families and the black kids I knew, really strict dads. They used to put the belt to them, put the strap to them. Mum couldn't do anything. You go to church on Sundays. My dad was so cool. He just, none of that at all. What he understood was if you got young kids, I did the same with my kids, and I'm sure many of you do the same if you've got kids. If your kid shows an interest, you encourage, you nurture. From when I was a little boy, my dad bought a top-of-the-range radiogram, a Bush.
Granddad.
Yeah, and it still works. We still have it. He bought that in 1960, his pride and joy. the joke is with the Jamaicans is that they all bought the cheaper one, the blouse box. That's the one that became, the blues box became. My old man, he bought one of the first stereo radiograms. And when I was about 5 or 6, I was actually allowed to use it. And I loved it. I played 45 after 45 after 45, smashed loads of his 78s in the process, but I played on that and he encouraged it. So all through my early development, he's always encouraged it, you know, giving me, trusting me with a £5 note, which is that big. You know, go and buy the records for Christmas, family, you know, and even up until probably just before COVID, he'd still pop into a gig where I was playing, whenever I'm playing in London.
Wow. So that gentleman over there behind you by the pillar.
Just a quick one. I will say as well. I remember Ian Wright, David Rocastle, all those boys from South East London.
No.
We rated
Laurie Cunningham, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah, now you're going back forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, but I'm disappointed you supported Tottenham though, is that what you said?
Well, no apologies for that. I'll tell you why I supported Spurs, because going there was the only place where I found no racism, was instantly accepted.
So you never went to Brisbane Road then. Next question, please.
Norman, out of all the gigs you've played over the years, what is the biggest crowd you've ever played to, and where was it?
Good question.
Well, I've been very fortunate to have played some seminal gigs, some massive gigs. But I think the one gig that gives me the greatest satisfaction, aside from Notting Hill Carnival, was playing at the Big Chill, probably in front of over 30,000 people, one Sunday afternoon. The brief story was I joined the Big Chill crew from the second event, when there's like about 300 people, chickens, turkeys and sheep running all over the place, everyone lying down, sitting down there, till less than 10 years later. You know, it's massive. Because originally they asked me to come and do like the Saturday night dance party, and I thought, I don't want to be doing a Big Chill on a Saturday night when, you know, Cream's on or Ministry's on, no chance. I said, I'll come there and do Sunday afternoon when everyone's leaving. And that way, anyone who's interested will stay. I don't care if I'm playing. This is true. I said, give me the late slot, Sunday afternoon when everyone's leaving. And within a couple of years, it turned out to be the major point. So yeah, somebody put a picture of it. They took a picture from the hill that used to be behind it. And I know from the time frame on that picture, that was when I was playing, and it's absolutely massive. Yeah, over 30,000 people.
Now, I'm just looking around the room. There's a couple of the biggest DJs in the world in this room, and you wouldn't know it because they're just here. So thank you. I think you know who you are. Not Norman or me, by the way. So another question. Has anyone got one? Don't be shy. Hold on. No Spurs questions. Who's your favourite Orient player? Laurie Cunningham. Right, Adrian.
Yes, and you were rather Norman. Imagine being the son of Irish immigrants growing up in Brixton, trying to learn a West Indian accent. Anyway, that's another story. Paddy and Soul Partners, the Brixton frontliner in the house, Norman, as you well know. But I remember well going through market stalls as a kid, and you'd hear, because we were brought up as young kids on like Irish country and Western, what have you, but you go through market stalls in Brixton, you hear Jamaican grandmothers say to stallholders, "Hey, mister, you have any Jim Reeve?" Because, am I right?
Yes.
They love the clarity and purity of the voice.
Were they from Cornwall?
Correct. They were pirates. Thank you. Norman, bless you.
Now listen, we've got, thank you Adrian, I'm just teasing. Adrian J has a great show on TWR, by the way. Now, we have time for one more question, I think, and then you have an afternoon of jazz. And so, two more questions.
So, as the backbeat of the Jam, how was it like playing behind Paul Weller? Oh, sorry, that should have been yesterday's question.
Oh, Messi, you're not funny.
What is your best ever record find when you was digging? That you was like, oh my God, fucking hell, I found that record.
Yeah, there's been a few moments on that. I can, again, my life has been charmed in that respect of being in the right place at the right time. I can remember, well, do you remember record and tapes? Tape exchanges that used to be in the West End, but they were all mainly West London based. And the record and tape and camera exchange in Notting Hill, well, their first ever shop used to be by Goldhook Road, not far from the Pie and Mash shop. And I used to come there on Sunday afternoons after playing, for my pub team. And they'd all go drinking. And I'd go in there and ask the goths, in their mad sort of Led Zeppelin t-shirts, where's the black music, mate? In the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
So I go down in the basement, massive amount of records in there, and I'm looking through the rock section because I'm just killing time, and I came across a promo of Tommy Stewart's album. Yeah. Never seen one again. And it was only put there because of the cover. It looks like a rock album. So, yeah, the Tommy Stewart and the Jackson Sisters I found once.
Now, I think there's a couple of people at the back that wanted to ask you a question, and then we're going to move on to Ian and Rob. A couple of ladies in the house, I think.
Hi Norman, it's Wendy May here.
Hi Wendy.
Hi, I just wanted to ask you if you remember coming to a warehouse party that I put on in mid-80s. There were about 4 DJs, you were one of them, and it was in an old t-shirt printing warehouse in Camden, and we were like getting the funk right up, and everyone was loving the rare groove and the funk. Do you remember Sean Rowley's first track that he put on when he came?
No, I don't, but I remember Sean being there.
Welcome Home by Peters and Lee.
No, it was Gilbert O'Sullivan's Get Down. And
Sorry,
listening to you say you like, like Thin Lizzy and Elton John and Rod Stewart, we're of the same age. Yeah. You can't be our age without listening and loving great music.
But the point I was trying to get across, it was fine for white DJs and white people to like their own music. Definitely a no-no for a black DJ to play white records.
Yeah.
I can
imagine
remember,
if you'd played Gilbert O'Sullivan.
I think my taste is a bit more refined than that.
Have you heard Too Much Attention? Gilbert O'Sullivan. He plays percussion while he's singing. He's incredible. Come on, Norman.
But I remember in my early days at KISS, I can distinctly remember the vitriolic hate mail I got, mostly from the black community, writing into me for playing Lou Reed's Walk on the Wild Side. That was a time when it hadn't been sampled, no one was playing that music like that at all. And then one Sunday on KISS, got my Lou Reed. Got such happy memories of that tune. I put it on, absolutely loved it. But I got dozens, of quite disturbing mail going, Norman Jay, you're a champion of black music. Why are you playing white music on the show? We don't get enough airplay anyway. This is the sort of thing that I was having to deal with. But it just hardened my attitude. Those ladies, I won't swear. I just played, and that basically motivated me to play even more stuff. At Carnival one year, this is a true story, because my wife's an original punk, Jane, she was a punk from 76, 77. Big fan of The Clash. She used to go everywhere to watch The Clash. One year at Carnival, I got about 10,000 people in front of me around the bus, and I played White Riot by The Clash. You've never seen a street die so quickly. And I thought, no, I'm going to start out, let it play. And then 1 or 2 kids started jumping up and down in there. This is great. And then by the end of it, half the street was going mad to it. So it's about how you're exposed to stuff like that. And I dealt with the taboo of that, head on. I play any white records, I don't care.
Yeah. That's the great thing about the Modcast is that you know, people think it's just going to be mod.
No.
I mean, we've played like Eddie and the Hot Rods last night, and, you know, I've got a few punt gems in my box for later, so do stick around.
I mean, it's accepted now, but, you know, 30 years ago, that was revolutionary. You know, because the perception of us as black DJs, where you only play funk, you only play soul, you only play reggae, you know, never taken into account, those of us who were born here, you know, well, I'm a big Bowie fan. You know, not just because, you know, as far as I was concerned, you know, Bowie's a mod.
Yeah, completely. So was Elton John and Rod Stewart, by the way.
Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for coming down to that little warehouse.
Right. Now, we've run out of time, so, ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive round of applause to Norman Jay MBE. Thank you, Norman.
Thanks, Eddie.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thanks to Sarah as well.
Now, before you all bugger off, move your chairs